Hey, how's it going? Dan Lucinski, Dark Angel Cutlery. I've got a little bitty little EDC here in the acid etch, and this has gone through the acid etch twice now. I did 2 minutes the first time and 5 minutes the second time, and I'm in for about 3 minutes this third time, and I'm going to just show you the process I go through to clean off the a little bit of the scale from the etch and kind of decarb it and finish it up. So here we go. Let's take a look and see what we got. Let's get this camera in a little spot here. So this is ferrochloric acid, and this is a 1:4 mix, ferrochloric acid and water, and ta-da! So I take it out of the acid and I take a look, and kind of hard to see in my light here, but you can see I've got a nice etch there, and nice little touch mark there. But I immediately rinse it off in some warm water and get the acid off, and then I neutralize any existing acid in a ammonia and water mix. And at that point I take my little my hanger off here, which is just basically a piece of wire, and now we're going to clean the scale off under the water. You can immediately see that it's lightening up here, and a lot of like black scale on there is just from the acid. And I've got some 1500 grit paper here on a wood block, and what I want to do is just take some of that carbon right off the surface of the 15N20. And the 1085 is going to be a little lower because the acids have etched that a little deeper. So I've got this sandpaper just running across the surface, and that's going to leave some of the black carbon on the high carbon steel. And this is going to kind of polish right off the surface of the 15N20 and leave us with a more uniform looking Damascus. Now, we're not going to have a super black look to this Damascus. It's still going to look a little bit like a dark gray. We can go through afterwards and either use some cold bluing, some gun bluing, or we could use like a coffee concentrate and use the acids from that to get a little bit darker on our 1085. And it's immediately looking better, more uniform. So I'm going to get my bevel. I've got my flats pretty much cleaned off, and kind of just try to go in a very uniform pattern and get a very even clean to it. I even got a Brillo pad here, a Scotch-Brite pad, a Scotch-Brite sponge that is, and I'm going to, after I use the 1500 grit sandpaper and get a very uniform flat surface, I'll go and take that Scotch-Brite and just kind of clean off anything that's left behind and try to get my color and my finish very even. So this is kind of like, from here on, this is what I'm looking to get for a finish. Except for, you know, going through with a little bit of cold bluing probably tomorrow and just darkening it up a little bit and just getting the blacks that I want in that Damascus etch. So it's starting to look really even. I'll give you get some of this up here. So this is just from the 1500 grit sandpaper, what I got, and you see it's still a little blotchy, but we're getting a nicer finish to that 15N20, and you can see the Damascus starting to present itself now. So again, this is gonna, you know, this etch is just the ferrochloric acid just eats away at the high carbon steel and leaves that 15N20 at the surface that it was finished at, a little higher. And next I'll go through and I'll use that cold bluing to get my color. But so let's see if we can even it out a little bit with a Scotch-Brite. just kind of very lightly, kind of back and forth, trying to get any carbon off, any of the high points, and get the heavy carbon off some of the low points. That Scotch-Brite pad is going to get down a little deeper than the sandpaper will, but not as rough or as abrasive as the sandpaper. So I've got to get those really low points with the Scotch-Brite pad that are hard to get otherwise. But you'll see the blotchiness gets kind of taken away from the Scotch-Brite pad here, and we get a much better looking Damascus. And I go in the ammonia a couple times here, make sure I get plenty of that on there, because we really want to neutralize that acid. If I were to leave this knife, say overnight, and kind of give you an idea of what we're getting out of it now. It's looking a lot more even. It lightens it back up, but at the same time you've got a really even look. And make sure I don't drip any ammonia into the acid there. That would be very bad. That would cause a bad thing. Let's get that out of the way. I don't know what ammonia and perchloric acid does together, but considering the ammonia is what neutralizes the acid, you probably don't want any of that in there. Make a bad mixture. Alright, so let's rinse some of that excess ammonia off. And my ammonia is diluted too. That's like a 3-to-1. I just use a regular, Wally World ammonia. But good to have that stuff around. Good solvent. But you see we're getting a lot more uniform. A little bit more in the upper bevel there to take off, but it's starting to look like a really solid Damascus at this point. So a very uniform finish with a very nice looking pattern. So there you have it. A little bit darker in here. I'm gonna clean that up. But starting to look good. And our logo will be nice and dark because that's hard to get the carbon off that low spot. But that's pretty much it. It's what I wanted to show you. I'm on the final steps of this little EDC here. It's for somebody that I admire, that I want is a working professional. I want them to have a good knife. So I've been putting the time in on this one. And like with all my knives, I put the time in. But I'm about at the home stretch here, and just putting together a leather sheath on the side while I'm finishing this up, and sheath will be finished shortly too, and should be done soon. And then I'll be able to wrap up a couple other blades I've been working on, some bigger ones. But thanks for watching, and be good.